Hello, SimNews.
Hello everyone.
Yes.
SimNews has returned
Indeed.
once again.
Yes. I can't remember when we did one last. No, I can actually. It was 2
It was
months
at least yesterday.
Yes. We did one 2 months ago, and we meant to do one last month, but we didn't, because I thought there wasn't that much interesting to talk about, and I was busy. So we skipped a month, and as it turns out, it paid off, because quite a lot of interesting things have happened between the time that we were going to make that episode and right now.
None of which I actually knew until today.
Yes. Yeah. Anyway, the first topic. Now, there is one elephant in the room, which we're going to get to a bit later on. The first topic, we're going to start off with Trains and World, as we usually do. The CrossCountry and West Midlands Railway Class 170 pack. And that is...
I know nothing.
Well, okay.
And I shall, as Bertie explains it, I shall look it up on the internet.
So, Rivet Games, as you know, made a Class 170 for Trains and World for their route. Not very good route, and not very good interpretation of a Class 170. It sounded completely wrong. Yeah. It was bad. Pretty bad. And they had no variations. So the Class 170s are well known for having about 1 million billion different variants with different interiors.
That is a lot of variants.
Well, yeah, not exactly that, but different headlights, different air dams, different interiors, different windows, different PIS systems, just loads of different things depending on which unit you're in. Not even by the subclass, by the individual unit. They're really... If you go in depth to it, there's loads and loads of differences between different members of the class. So to have just one type of Class 170 was a bit of a problem. Now, to an extent, this new pack is going to fix that, because it's going to have the old headlight variant and it's going to have it in both the CrossCountry and the West Midlands Railway liveries. Which is good, it's a start. And it's funny that they're doing 2 liveries.
Yeah. It's almost never seen before in Trains and World history, trying hard.
And it's notable because it's the return of CrossCountry. A number of years ago, all of the CrossCountry stuff for Train Simulator was withdrawn. And now they've got the licence back, but there's no word on any of the withdrawn stuff coming back for TS. Which it really should, but nothing I can do. Yeah, so... we've got all of those, and it's got the 2 different interiors, and they've got the Lazzarini seats, which are different to the ones in the ScotRail one, and they've both got the maquette, although, just to be clear, the West Midlands Railway one has got the more modern, well, the main series maquette for the London Midland interior, rather than the prototype interior that was on the first few that were done into London Midland livery. So there's one variant that's still missing, and we're not getting the full air dam versions. It's still just the short ones. So we're still missing a number of variants of the 170, but it's progress. To be fair, the Class 170 pack from AP doesn't have the full air dam version. And you have to get a mod to add it in, but the mod doesn't look very good, so I didn't bother with it. Adrian, I think, has it, but
yes.
I don't.
This is because Bertie's a poopy head.
But to be honest, the most important and interesting part of the pack is the fact that it's coming with a brand new timetable. Well, I say brand new, an updated timetable for Birmingham Cross City. Now, that was a route that has a reputation for being all right, but with absolutely nothing going on. And this pack is going to add its own version of the timetable, but it's got loads and loads more things going on. So it might actually make the route playable.
Indeed.
So yeah, that's the 170 pack. It's interesting, and it's coming out in only a couple of days, depending on how long it takes to edit it. It might be coming out in the past, but I'm sure we'll get out in time. So yeah, it's not a thing that's being saved for another issue that we will talk about later. Now, another thing that does have issues is the Class 86 pack by JustTrains. Now, this is something that we were both quite looking forward to.
I wasn't.
Well,
I hadn't.
Henry and I
Yeah.
were.
I have no interest in Trains and World anymore. But yes, it was an anticipated TSW product though.
Yeah. And it came out, and it was mostly good, but there's a number of issues with it.
Of course there are.
Yeah, but weird issues, really weird ones. The suspension has been set up so that the train rides a little bit low. So it always looks like a low ride at Class 86, which is hilarious.
Unusual.
Somehow, in the livery designer, that awful livery designer, the Mark IIs and the Mark IIIs have swapped names. So if you go...
Wow.
So you'll see a Mark III TSO that will be labelled Mark IIF TSO or whatever, which is a weird one. And when you do Control and 0, you'll be putting the wrong cab, and at certain angles, the textures on the Mark IIs just look really blurry. And I'm not sure how they managed all of this. It's quite incredible. But all in all, at the moment, I think for £20 it's a bit of an ask, considering they did the wrong variant of the 86. It doesn't add any new services. So, is it worth it? Probably. But maybe at a lower price point if you're not that bothered. And I love Class 86s, but I don't love them at £20. Especially
I think it goes beyond that. I think the issue with the Class 86 is that an 87 is that that 86 is adding nothing new at all to the route. Nothing. Yeah, okay, yeah, Mark 1 coach.
The Mark II sets. Well,
yeah, but I mean, it's adding no new gameplay. When I'm driving, I'm completely changing scene. If I'm driving, as I say, a BR185 in Germany, and that's the only thing that comes with the route for some reason, and then you were to offer to me a BR155 that offers something radically different, even if they're both freight. But a Class 86, I mean, I know they're different inside. But they are. I don't know. I just think the issue with Trains in World is it's trying to basically make money out of everything, and what you can't offer is an experience that's incomplete. So if you're trying to offer a West Coast main line in the 80s, you can't just have an 87. So I just think it should have, and for the prices the routes are being charged at the moment, not having an 86 is, well, I think it's silly. And then, because yes, it came with an 08, which was already made. Yes, it came with a 47. Was the 47 improved?
Well, yeah, I guess, but it's basically just for the Blackpool variant anyway.
It's a 47 which was made, and a 101 which is wrong. So, how much is the route? £35?
No, 32 or 3. Yeah,
okay, £35 basically. You're paying in excess of 30 quid for that. I mean,
see, I did buy the route when it was slightly discounted, and I didn't feel ripped off because it is what you get is very high quality. It's a Trains and World.
My issue is that's it. My issue is it's within Trains and World.
Well, no, my issue is that it's a Trains and World pricing problem in general, where there are routes that just generally cost too much for what you're getting. But to go back to Class 86,
yeah,
I know that JustTrains have said they've said publicly that they're not going to do Carlisle to Glasgow because they say it's too expensive to make. I don't know why, but that's what they say. But had they done it, or done another section of the West Coast Main Line in the 80s, have a Class 86 with that, and then allow them to swap between the routes, because that would improve both of them at the same time. That's what I think anyway. Or they could have done a Class 85, which would be really cool. Even you'd have to admit, but it would be quite cool to see.
Yes, yeah,
Class 85.
I was actually about to say it before.
Yeah, and to be honest, they could push the time period a bit to add a class 90, but I'd prefer an 85. Yeah.
Yes.
So that's one thing. And another thing is the Manchester Airport route. Now, we've spoken about it in the last episode.
Indeed.
And it came out, and it's generally high quality. It's a good
route.
route.
Talking of which, I saw a hilarious video earlier on Facebook, which almost made me die. As you know, the Pendolino runs on it, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. A bit.
When it tilts into the class 323s, and it derails because it bumps into it on some curves.
Now, the funny thing is, I have to be careful with what I say, but the route in general was being worked on for so long that I believe Train Sim World 5 wasn't even conceived, and it may have even started earlier before I joined, so it could even predate Train Sim World 4. I'm not certain. Of course, all of the work that I did on the route you will never see, for a variety of reasons.
One of which Alan Thomson himself disclosed. But
yes, but I'm not going to, because I'm not going to risk it. But yeah, it was a quite awkward route. And so it's entirely possible that by the time the track was done, and I was there when the track was being laid, that they just didn't know about the class 390. Or at least how much it would tilt. So, yeah, I don't know how they're going to fix it. I don't know.
Basically, it's really funny because you're just calmly driving at, a 390, nice Pendolino, and then suddenly, bonk.
Yeah.
Thwack.
Yeah, it's an awkward one. It's an awkward one because generally it's a good route. The only problem with it, obviously, is that, well, it comes with a 323, and that's it. And there's a story to be told there, but I'm, again, not allowed to tell you it. So I think before I accidentally get myself sued, we're going to move on to the elephant in the room that I alluded to earlier. That being, drumroll please.
Sorry. Yeah.
What? No, Train Sim World 6. Train Sim World 6. Train Sim World 6. Saying it 3 times while clapping, yeah. Train Sim World 6 has been pre-announced, so to speak.
Yay!
So
because we didn't know of its existence already.
Well, most people knew that there was going to be a Train Sim World 6. You had people on the forum saying, oh, no, until they announce it, it's not happening. Come on, of course it's happening. Don't be silly, you sausage.
It happened.
Yes. So they said that they are doing Train Sim World 6. It's going to come out, and there's going to be the free starter pack. But they didn't announce any of the routes. Now, they said that there's going to be 3 of them, but we don't know what they are. We don't know the exact date the game's going to come out, although we know roughly when it's going to come out.
I'm so excited.
Well, the good thing is that the free version is sticking around. That's the crucial thing, I think. But
I have something to say, and I want to be heard by all the universe. No, seriously.
Tell me.
Talking about TSW6, there's a key feature, which is the fact that it won't include any new features, and therefore it's just a rehash.
Well, yeah. See,
because if TSW6, say, included multiplayer, it would be its salvation.
Yeah,
I'm not kidding.
Well, the thing is, on the forums at least, the announcement that there absolutely will be a free starter pack really softened the blow. And obviously you've got people complaining that you have to reinstall the game and all of your mods. And that's a very fair criticism, and one that's completely correct.
Yes.
But overall, it's just
by
how
the time
it
the
is now.
universe has ended, Dovetail Games will be the company with most games on Steam.
Yeah. So it's annoying. I wish they didn't do it. They feel the need to do it, and I don't know why they feel the need to do it, because if they wanted to do a yearly bundle of free routes, they could have just released it for the existing game, as they did it with Rush Hour. But, well...
Because that went really well.
Well, yeah.
The Rush Hour system is definitely something to learn.
Yes, and the routes
implement
are
a
incredible.
feature that...
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
Well,
implement a feature that's never going to be used again. Wow.
Well, when it comes to the routes, one of them was good, one of them was okay, and one of them was Boston to Providence, and we don't talk about that one.
Because no one cares about it.
Well, not only does no one care, it isn't very good. Dovetail, if you're watching this, which you're not, but if you were, and you cared about what I thought, which you don't, but if you did, please just... Can you keep it the same game? Just the same core, okay?
Unless you're actually going to make something worth... Like, if you give me a reason to install the new...
If you're releasing an Unreal 5 version, fair enough, but...
Or multiplayer, or even something amazingly huge, which could somehow justify it, but a new core which has nothing new in it is not interesting.
The current version of Train Sim World is basically interchangeable with Train Sim World 1. They are the same game, fundamentally, and no matter which one you play, you're getting roughly the same experience.
TSW2, I do think there was a bit of a change there, but still...
Well,
see, honestly, if we look at it, when there was TSW2, they added some. Yes, it ended up being a bit of not great because of the livery editor and all those things. But objectively, they had people excited because it was with the livery editor, scenario editor, which of course we all know that were absolute knock-off, rubbish. Yes, and then apart from that, the roots weren't all ported initially and all that stuff. However. At least there was something supposedly new. And I remember when I was still an avid player of TSW2 back then, I remember being genuinely excited and thinking, wow. And I bought it on PS4 and then I regretted my life. Because I remember that each time you saved your game, you'd have to clear the cache or the game would crash. Which wasn't great. Because it meant that all your saved deliveries, I think, went out and all that stuff.
I mean, I never had that issue, but okay.
No. It was on launch. I bought it on launch.
Oh, right. Okay. Anyway, so Train Sim World 6 and all of the Train Sim World stuff. That's all the things we're going to talk about. Okay. There were some other things that were announced, like the...
There is something else we have to talk about.
Is there?
Yes, the new game.
Oh, I completely forgot about that.
Whatever the hell it is.
Yeah. So, as you may be aware, Dovetail Games recently put in a trademark request, whatever you call it, for a game called Metro Rivals. Now, they've done some...
I didn't know about that. I only knew about the announcement. Wow.
They did some trademark requests in the past, none of which amounted to anything, and most of them were withdrawn. But I believe that one stuck. So, seemingly... And I don't know this for sure, but seemingly, Metro Rivals is the name of whatever it is that Dovetail's working on. But
Metro Rivals?
Yeah. This is the interesting bit.
Sounds really fun.
Well, we have no idea what the game is actually going to be. Because you may have played a game called Mini Metro, which is a puzzle game where you effectively draw... It's a really hard game to describe. You draw a metro map.
A metro network, yes.
And then you have to keep passengers getting between the stations on time. And it's a really weird game, but it's quite fun. Yeah. So maybe it'll be something like that. Maybe it'll be a phone game. I genuinely don't know. No one knows. No one's had a solid idea of what it is.
But everyone does know something.
It won't be very good.
Indeed.
Yeah, Dovetail Games trying to make non-train simulator stuff has never really gone well.
Well, I mean, it would be honest, train simulator stuff hasn't gone exactly brilliantly either, but...
Comparing it, Flight Sim World,
they
completely missed the mark. They completely misunderstood the market, as they did with Train Sim World, but to the point where they just killed the game. Flight School... What was the point with that? Catan, they just gave up. The fishing games, Catan is abandonware.
Brilliant. But is it? Could you even update it, or what's the? Why would I? I mean, I've never got the point. What is it? It's a board game.
It's a board game, and it's specifically the console version because there's already a PC version, and they didn't have the rights to make a PC version.
Hilarious. And
yeah.
In what sense is it abandonware? Because I understand there are also games that, once you've made it, you've made it.
Well, there's a number of issues with the game that aren't going to be fixed, as is the case with Dovetail Games. So, yeah, and the fishing games, they had Eurofishing, which was apparently okay-ish, I guess. And then there was Fishing Sim World, which was overall the best of the fishing games. And then for no reason, they released a micro fishing game, which only had a tiny selection of species. And then they released a Base Master Pro Shops, or whatever it was, tie-in game, I guess, which was better than the Catch, but still not very good, and not compared to Fishing Sim World. And then they just killed it altogether, and now we're not doing any fishing games. So I don't really get what the point was, because surely they were okay with just Fishing Sim World. I don't know. Anyway, Dovetail Games, they don't have a good track record. So, and I'm going to say something that I didn't expect to say. If Metro Rivals, or whatever it is, comes out, and you think it has potential, buy it immediately, so that Dovetail will feel the need to release a patch to fix the game. Because if it's mediocre at launch, they will abandon it within 2 weeks.
10 hours. Nah, 10 working days.
So yeah, that is your warning. That is your very strict warning. I'm not going to buy it because I like watching the world burn, but you know.
No, but why is that? I mean, why can't they just make something good?
Why can't they just update Train Simulator for once? No, anyway, right.
No, don't do that because they'll probably break it again.
Well, maybe, yeah. Anyway, moving on. I'd like to talk about the Caledonia Works Terriers, which have been recently announced. And this is something that we were talking about privately the other day, where Caledonia Works and Bossman Games, to an extent, are effectively remaking steam locomotives that already exist in TS for seemingly no point.
Quite a high standard as well. So
yes, but for context, most of the trains that are being remade are ones that were made by Victory Works. Now, Victory Works, they don't have the best modelling or texturing, but their physics are usually really good. And none of their recent stuff is particularly bad in any way. They are perfectly serviceable DLCs.
And I really enjoy Victory Works stuff. It's very good stuff.
But despite that, Caledonia Works, they released, what was it the Large Prairies, I think? A little while ago.
That's Bossman Games.
Oh, right. Well, they released something that Victory Works had already done, and it was okay.
The 1400, 5600.
It looked marginally better, but with worse physics. And then Bossman Games, well, when they do it, they're generally an upgrade in all areas. So it's fine, but then some of the variants were missing.
Yeah, I support Bossman Games doing anything, if we're being frank, but
besides, all of the development time they're spending on remaking things that Victory Works have done already quite well, which could have been put into doing other things that aren't in TS or don't have a good version in TS. I don't know why they do it, but it's like, well, they just do.
I just think it's a shame because it
does undermine Victory Works' work.
I mean, I think the issue here is that there's a portion of the community that really want nice models, and I don't blame them. However, basically that and Victory Works isn't compatible.
Yeah, but on that note, the modelling of Victory Works isn't that bad anyway.
I mean, if you compare it, someone I've never bought anything from, installed anything from, or ever played it, because I think it looks awful, is, I don't know what it's called, it's Steam Locomotive Works. The people that made, I don't know what they're called. You know which one I mean?
I think I might. Were they the people who made the Z class?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, I know what you mean. I can't remember their name either. If I remember the name...
For example, they've got quite good simulation,
the name,
but
I
models
shall put it on screen now.
The models look dreadful.
Yeah, they do. I mean, the most recent one looks okay-ish, I guess. But okay-ish for like 5 years ago. Not if you could put it next to anything by Bossman Games, it sort of falls apart. But yeah, it's awkward. It's awkward, and that brings me on.
My another complaint I have. A perfect example, we're going to compare the Victorworks. So Victorworks make the panniers. I think there was something like £15, and you got an absolute shed load of variants. Then the Bossman Games ones came out for something like 20. So I think that's not bad because the quality is objectively better.
Yeah, at the expense of there being lesser variants.
And the lesser variants are very limited. I mean, it's basically the unbraked ones that include. So it's not.
And none of the remakes have got the auto coach functionality.
True, but it's not the worst thing in the world.
Yeah.
However, because with Bossman Games you're paying a lot of money for honestly very good product.
Yeah.
Very good product. But my problem with Caledonia Works is you're paying inordinate amounts of money for what is a beautiful model with beautiful textures and sometimes also very nice sounds. But the physics are nowhere near what others have achieved.
So I've described Caledonia Works.
Sorry?
I've described Caledonia Works as the baseline of good steam locomotives in TS. They can be worse, but they can be a lot better as well. So they're not bad per se, but you could aim higher. And to be fair, Caledonia Works physics now are much, much better than how they used to be.
Absolutely.
But
yeah.
there's still a road to improvement. But they do so many DLCs. It's almost like they're doing multiple per month.
The thing is, do you know what Caledonia Works feels like? They have one generic simulation model which is tweaked to each engine. And you're driving I was the other day, I was with Bertie in a court, and I was driving the Forge simulation, the Nicholas BR52.
Yes.
And as with the Bossman Games locomotive, that has got a very nice simulation. When you release the steam locomotive's reverser, because it will, when you put the lock back in, it will only engage once it's in a gap in which it can engage, if that makes sense. So the lock will only go back into its locked position once it's in a notch at which it can lock. Obviously, that happens with screw reversers. That happens. There is a notch, and that isn't there with Caledonia Works stuff. You can just you can hold it as is obvious using the lock, but you can't lock it in the notches. It's just an infinitely variable lever reverser. And if you do that with like a wheel reverser, I can't remember the name in English right now. An infinitely variable reverse, that's not the end of the world because it's relatively unrealistic. But for example, a J94 has only got forwards about half cut off, mid gear, reverse half cut off, and backwards. So if you were to make it if you were to make it infinite, that means you'd be severely misrepresenting the drive of how you drive a J94.
Anyway, this show is called SimNews, and the intention was always to make it more about simulators in general rather than just Train Simulator. And the reason why we do Train Simulator so much is because of the three of us. Henry's not here right now, obviously, but the three of us, the only simulator we really we all like is train simulation, and then there's other things that we all like to an extent, but not really enough to talk about. But there are two things that I wanted to talk about, general simulator things. That being, first of all, Bus Simulator 2027.
Yay.
Which is being set in Spain, which is where Adrian's from.
No, I'm not. I'm from East Czechoslovakia.
Yes. So, Bus Simulator. There's been 3 Bus Simulator games. The 2016 one, which was the 2018 one, which was okay. 2021 was decent, and it's got 2 maps, and it's okay. Out of all of the bus simulators, it's probably the least worst of the current ones. However, Bus Simulator 2027 is being developed by an entirely new developer. I don't know if they're building off of the existing engine. I genuinely don't know. I have no idea what the game is going to properly be like, and it seems that the multiplayer isn't being enhanced in any way. So it's like, what's next for the bus simulator series?
Well, hopefully the world destruction of all buses.
But we do know one thing about buses in simulation games, and that is that they're being added, for some reason, to Euro Truck Simulator.
Indeed.
Now, this, in a way, makes a lot of sense, because you've got a gigantic Europe-wide map and America-wide map that has got loads and loads of scenery, and it is perfect for any kind of driving, really, not just trucks. So they're adding coaches to it, and it makes sense. But what if they were going to add cars as well? Why not not necessarily a Forza Horizon thing, but just a car driving simulator? Maybe that could work. I don't know. But it's like, Euro Truck has been around for so long, and only now they're adding coaches. So it's like, why did you wait so long to add that? I don't know. Who knows? It's weird.
Because they didn't want to.
Well, yeah.
As is reasonable.
But what's the difference now and then?
Well, that now they have, and then they hadn't.
No. But in a way that, because you've got more bus simulators in general these past few years, like Fern Bus and The Bus.
See, I've always expressed my problem with Euro Truck Simulator, as opposed to the difference between. I mean, I think the Star Bus Simulator, if we're being honest, I don't do buses, but I know the Star Bus Simulator is definitely OMSI.
Yeah, even though that one's got train simulator syndrome, so to speak.
Yeah, but still, my issue with Transport Fever, Euro Truck Simulator, you may see where I'm going, is the map scale.
Yeah.
Yes. So I don't like playing a game objectively that is, I can't feel. I'd rather do a shorter route. I mean, I love doing long routes in train simulator. Maniac when it comes to long drives, including in real life, as Bertie knows. But I objectively like long drives, but even if I can't get them, I prefer a short ride, say, I don't know, on the Isle of Wight. I mean, not the Trieste one, because it's not exactly the world's best thing, but a small route, I prefer that to having an incorrectly scaled thing, because one of the pleasures of travelling is seeing what you see on the way. And obviously, if you scale things incorrectly, it loses the immersion factor, and I think it's just a shame.
So what you're saying is that if they managed to add coaches to Test Drive Unlimited 2, you'd buy it?
If I knew what it was, then yes.
Well, a coach is like a bus, but it's bigger.
Not a coach. Test Drive Unlimited, you absolute cheese.
It's a racing game from, well, more than 15 years ago. Mm-hmm. And the map is 1-to-1 scale. One of the Ibiza. Well, Ibiza is one of the maps, and then there's also one of the Hawaiian Islands as well.
That's cool.
They're really cool racing games. Bit dodgy in a way.
I'm glad.
Yeah.
No, but I like the fact that they're real. See, the thing is with Transport Fever as well, on the just general simulation Fever, because it's got loads of countries. It's honestly, the game looks nice. It's a good game. And yeah. I'm not the world's biggest fan of normal games. I'm much more of a simulation fan, but it is nice. It looks nice. It feels good. You can even do, gimmicks like the horn on the trains thing, which is pointless but cool. But then there are certain features it has. I've always played it in sandbox mode because all I want to see is my train basically going around doing its stuff. But objectively, if what you want to see is a full transport system, you can't use ships or planes because it just makes no sense. Or high-speed trains in a way, because or even urban transport, because the cities are so small. You don't really get a feeling of it spreading. So
the maps need to be much bigger.
Yeah,
like 3 or 4 times the size. I know that'd be really well, sort of infeasible to use, but
But then make the game so that it is feasible to use.
I guess
because
it's just
or change a mechanic. Because another problem it has, for example, I don't like about Transport Fever is that the towns don't develop unless you serve them.
Yeah.
Which means a big map, one with relatively large distances in which you could actually establish a proper rail network. 90% of the map will never be usable.
Well, it's worth talking about Transport Fever 3, which has recently been announced.
What? I don't know anything about it. I knew it was announced, but
there isn't that much knowledge about it. We've seen the new graphics and it looks decent, but for technical stuff, I don't know, to be honest. So hopefully it's Transport Fever 2, but on a bigger scale.
Yeah.
So all of the good things from it, but yeah.
For me, it's literally the one thing it is lacking is that.
Yeah. So we'll have to wait and see. And on that note, you will have to wait and see for when the next episode is going to come out, because it is the end of this one.
It is time for us to go. Goodbye, everyone. Go away and never come back.
If there's interesting things to talk about next month, then we'll do an episode. If not, we'll probably skip another month. I know nobody watches this show anyway, but if you did watch it, thank you very much. And we hope to see you again soon. So it's a goodbye from me, and it's a goodbye from him.
Is it?
Yes.
Oh yeah. Goodbye, everyone. I forgot.
Bye.